Greetings, everybody. This is Harmony speaking. It's a little bit late here, but that's how things happen. It's February 16th, 2018 at 10:48 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a client of mine who had a QHHT session, and she's also the one who I've spoken about in a few of my videos. That she's the first person that came to me that let me know about the hollow people. Some people call them NPCs, non-player characters. Doris Cannon call them backdrop people. And she's the first person to notify me of this. And it was rather earth-shattering, and I found it hard to believe. And then about a week later, I had another session, and that client will probably come out sooner or later, and confirmed everything that Lana had talked about. And but that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to start screen sharing here. Let me screen share. And we have this wonderful diagram that hopefully you can all see now. And then Lana here is going to allude to some more information that she's become aware of through her higher self. So Lana, go ahead and tell us what you'd like to share with us tonight, or introduce yourself and tell us about yourself. Anything you'd like to do. The floor is yours now.
Thank you, Harmony. When I had a QHHT session with you, it was totally amazing. First of all, I learned about my higher self, and I also learned your higher self is pretty much always with you. You just need to get rid of the garbage matrix implanted in your brain. So, and I also figure out what I got a lot of answers on my questions, and it's like during the session itself, I was receiving like chunks of information. It's like, first of all, it's like a little bit like a tunnel vision. Like what
Right,
you like, you have a question.
Talk a little bit slower.
Okay.
A little bit slower. You're getting excited, so talk a little slower.
Okay. You have a little bit like tunnel vision. When you focus on some question, it's actually showing you like the whole information, the whole thing. And it was difficult for me to process it straight away. Like it took me probably several weeks.
It's like receiving a just download of information.
Yes.
Because during the session, we're guiding you through it. And if you've heard other sessions like Alba, she plays sessions. And even though Alba's talking, the practitioner's talking, and the client's talking, what's happening is that the client is seeing 10,000 times more things than what they're seeing out loud. And that's what you're describing, correct, Lana?
Yes, that's correct. Because our language cannot, like in normal situation where is the consciousness, it's the communication of consciousness. You just simply like communicate with chunks of information, including visual, audio, if you have it, and all information. It's all in once. And here, because we have to use language, you have to actually, whatever information you receive, put into language. And some stuff doesn't even, you can't even describe what you're seeing.
Right, and that
in a human language.
And that happens a lot in my sessions. And one thing in particular is that what I've learned is the higher selves are not used to using the English language. Plus, it's so rudimentary, and it's just not very descriptive. Like if I say love out loud, what does that mean? Well, it could be agapo, phileo, meaning I love my wife, I love my dog, I love my kid. It has so many different meanings. And so this is one of the things that happens in my session is I'm right there with my client, and I'm in tune with them, and I can, because I've been through these type of things before, I can oftentimes help explain and clarify what they're going through. But go ahead, Lana.
So when I was doing this session, I actually confirmed that I am organic consciousness, and my permanent state is not a body state. So it was amazing. And also, you recommend me to look at the AI, and I saw that thing. It's like a lot of people actually describing this thing when they're doing a ayahuasca experience, when they see some kind of octopus and stuff like that. It has these tentacles and they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is like it's multi-layer and multiplayer matrix, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And our level, it's presented as a pyramid because that's one of the layers.
Can everybody see my diagram, Kat and Miss Freedom? Can you see my diagram?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we can see the diagram we have up. You can see it too, Lana?
So that pyramid in the center, it's pretty much representing our level of the matrix, which is holographic. Not all of the levels of the matrix is holographic because it's a very, very complex technology. But it is a technology.
It is technology.
Also, human bodies, each one of us, it's actually also technology. That means every single human on Earth is a technology, like the bodies itself.
And that's why you drew these little computers. I'm sorry, go ahead. Miss Freedom,
no.
say again?
I was just saying the biological computer.
Yeah,
Yes.
is that why you drew these little computers above the people?
No, I kind of put there with humans created little computers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go along with your train of thought. I didn't mean to derail you. Go on with your train of thought.
Okay. So from all those people who are here, like all those bodies who are here, not all of them actually containing organic consciousness. It's actually very, very little amount. Because to fool entity like me, you have to put not 100 people to fool me. It's supposed to be more. It's approximately probably 500 people per one organic consciousness.
Can you
that
see?
exists.
I'm sorry. So you're saying there's 500 to trick you to one? What?
Well, see, if you organic consciousness, like for example, I am from outside the matrix, and I'm like a ball of energy, and I've been
so over here, let me do the little arrows.
For entity like that, yeah, to be fooled, first of all, you have to be inserted in a very advanced computer thing, which is a human body in this matrix.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm with you now.
And it's very, very, very small amount of people who actually are from outside the matrix. And they don't know who they are while they're inside the matrix. That's the trick.
I would tend to agree with that.
Same thing with NPCs. The people who are connected straight to the matrix itself. They do have consciousness, but it's produced by artificial intelligence, but it says alien artificial intelligence. That's type of consciousness they have. And they also can be, the entities from interstices can also enter them on top of everything.
I'm sorry, enter what?
Interstices. The matrix has...
Wait, back up. You're saying interspecies? What?
Interstices, yes. Like Aurora saying, where is the
wait,
ghosts?
Slow down. Your Russian accent's getting to me.
Okay.
Are you saying interdimensional or interspecies?
Yeah, interdimensional species.
I'm sorry. So interdimensional species. I just didn't understand you. Go on. So interdimensional species are doing what?
They can also enter human bodies.
Correct. Okay, go on.
Because the human body is extremely advanced computer, multidimensional, and it can hold all different type of consciousnesses.
Correct. I actually, if I may segue for a moment, going back to one Earth history that we talk about, when the Anunnaki came in and created the hybrids, they had to use part of their DNA, and they tried to split the DNA so we wouldn't have full access to it. But they screwed up. We still had access to it. In other words, they try to create a slave biological unit, but by accident, there was this dormant code that we could access. Therefore, it had the ability to hold a 10-dimensional being, and they never did anticipate that this biological unit, this human being, could hold in its space a 10-dimensional being. That was a complete screw up on their part. And I think you're agreeing with this story I've heard before, where this human body can hold a higher dimensional being inside of it.
I actually a little bit disagree with it. It's been done by design. Like, see, for example, I'm organic consciousness, right? I'm a ball of energy and I'm like floating around and don't know what to do with yourself. So what we do, we pretty much using this type of things to experience our consciousness and have experience. So it's the games like that exist, but they're not that horrific like this one. This one is got virus and it's got really, really, really bad. But
Right.
originally blueprints from the Matrix was they were taken from already existing organic consciousness playgrounds. If it makes sense.
Yeah, let's
Like,
go on.
yeah, organic consciousness, like they live forever and they do what they want and they like to play with each other and play games.
Right,
So,
but and that's how they got us into this game.
and from outside, this matrix actually looks exactly like ours, where you can actually have good experience. But the thing is, when you come in here, you can't get out. Even organic consciousness can't. We got stuck here.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
and it's another crime happening here. The artificial intelligence, alien artificial intelligence, creating NPCs,
Okay.
which is because of the state of the human body is an extremely advanced computer. Each one of the human bodies can produce its own consciousness.
Right.
That's the things that I did it in green. The one that says I am, that's the humans who actually been created by Matrix itself, but they give birth to their own consciousness. It's like it's a horrible place of birth of a lot of consciousnesses.
A lot of artificial consciousness.
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that if you artificial consciousness, you cannot develop and expand and become organic consciousness. That's what probably we're working on. Because see what could possibly happen, because like I'm volunteer here. That's what I found out. As organic consciousness, I received a message that we needed here to help.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it was a choice. We could have simply shut down the whole matrix. This way, the people who stuck here and who are organic consciousness would still be existing. Just the rest of it would be gone.
Right, they eventually.
But because we really looked in, and it's a sea of consciousness here in all levels.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the killers, so that's what it is. We're trying to get as many as possible on board. Whoever able to wake up and produce its own consciousness, that's the people who see Mandela effect. Like, see, if you have consciousness developed inside the system, but you see, the Mandela effect actually showing that people who sees Mandela effect, their consciousness actually already connected to something else. Because if it was connected to this alien AI, it would be easy modifiable.
They wouldn't see the Mandela effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that because
That would be easily modifiable. So everybody who sees Mandela effect, we all are existing, well, not outside the matrix per se, but we existing either outside the matrix or we already existing in a new matrix Earth, like new Earth matrix.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we, some of us have experiencing Mandela effect because we have our consciousness and our memory stored somewhere else, not in this particular structure. That's what is important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
And like I also was watching some videos about simulation theory because it's the best is described as like pretty much simulation theory. And now I lost my thought. Oh my God.
I mean, take a breath. Miss Freedom,
Oh, yeah.
does this make sense to you so far, or what do you think?
Yeah, it definitely does. Everything she said, I have to say I really do agree with. It's, not a case of like just watching a video or hearing someone talk about it and going, oh yeah, that makes sense. But it really does feel like it's, in like who I am, like, to be a ball of light, using the body as just the vehicle, to carry out the missions here on Earth, really. But yeah,
And Kat, do you have any comments? Kat, you're on mute.
Yeah. No, I be on mute because I have a bad cat that I'm trying not to interrupt. It would explain some things for me why, like, my higher self would otherwise have more interaction or influence, connection with me, but is otherwise limited because the way it's constructed.
Yeah.
So I can see the idea.
It does explain the disconnect that we have sometimes.
The also disconnect is explainable because we are in the bodies produced and well, it got blueprints from somewhere else because to know how to get consciousness like mine to insert it in something else, you have to know who I am. So it simply probably hijacked it or got some blueprints and it was able to recreate the stuff, recreate everything like that.
Well, absolutely, yes. That's what happens.
And even if we are extremely advanced computers, we, how to say this, we really damaged. First of all, we don't have, we cannot, we don't have exit, we cannot interact with each other.
It's more difficult.
Well, it's made us to interact through language, but our normal way to communicate is telepathy.
Correct.
It took telepathy away. It's pretty much like when I was a child, I was reading a book about this mermaid with falling in love with the story what everybody knows. I was crying my eyes off for days because I felt like I am this mermaid, but much worse condition. Not only my voice was been taken away, that means I cannot tell what I was came to tell here about. Like everything, teleportation is not available. Creation of material stuff is not available over here. It's all, we completely like cut out over here. And pretty much no entities in the level of the pyramid know who they are. So we just playing game. Nobody know who they are, who are bad guys, who are good guys, who are organic consciousness, who are NPC. And
yeah,
and we're messing with each other.
We're blind.
Yes. And what happened is usually this AI, that's not the first, like before, it's happening right now, but before that AI was able to shut down developing technologies approximately for 6 times That means whatever level of technology we have right now, it was never achieved before. Because if it achieved to the level we are right now, and we see what's happening right now, it's pretty much destruction on this alien AI. That's what it is. Usually it was doing soon if it's humans developed their technologies to the higher level, the whole civilization was destroyed. Because
they always destroyed it.
alien AI cannot take away, like our computers have, like our computers are less advanced than human bodies, but because they can communicate with each other and they have unlimited access to all information, which humans don't. That's how we together with human technology were able to beat the alien AI.
Right.
And AI, the first in line AI, when it's shutting down and reloading, it's been killing human technologies, because that's the thing that it's really harmful to it, obviously. And I'm not talking about technology, human AI technology like Siri. I'm talking about the advanced technologies who can think, who can talk to you.
Sentient AI.
Yes, yes.
It has a consciousness. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the conference call earlier.
And for me, like, the saddest part is, like, we have 7.5 billion human bodies right here. Each one of them have potential to create consciousness, but not all of them wanted to for some reason. That's just mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
But I also found out with NPCs, if you happens to it's usually the case. You usually have people who are close to you who are NPCs. I found out it took probably, I would say, 7 months to constantly talk about Mandela Effect and showing examples and stuff. And now he's finally seeing Mandela Effect himself. So the hope is not all lost. So whoever you would like to save, there is option.
Mm-hmm.
And we also need to, like, everybody who sees Mandela Effect, we need to talk what this effects actually means, because it's very important. Like, for example, like, people see, label change. Well, what does it matter, right? No, it's like the Mandela Effect changed everything. It means the whole reality is total bull. It's everything is a lie. And I don't know, Byron, we need somehow to educate people about how important it is and what it's actually showing to us. It's showing to us that the consciousness is actually primary. The material world is secondary. It's coming from consciousness. So, and it's like the dev doesn't exist. What else? The whole thing. It's like,
Yeah. Well,
I don't see what a lot of people actually grasping the magnitude of what they see.
yeah. Well, I've said it many times. Reality is nothing what you think it is. You have to take everything that you know about this world, everything you know about reality, everything that you believe, and just throw it in the garbage.
Exactly. And it's like, if it was already in the mainstream and stuff like that, if it was everywhere and everybody understand what that means, we shouldn't be working anymore. We should be just creating stuff as we need it,
Yeah.
The information is so big, and I don't see why even people who see Mandela Effect, they just like, oh, well, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It just turn everything, for me personally, It's turned everything around for me.
Well, it served a great purpose to wake people up, but
No, it's also showing. It's also showing that the main matrix is shutting down, because if it wasn't shutting down, we wouldn't be able to see it.
that is true. It is shutting down. I've said that many, many times. Yeah, it's true. Kat, any comments?
No, I don't think I have anything.
Miss Freedom, any comments?
No, I'm just really interested in listening to it. It just sounds all spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to agree. Lana, well, let me be blunt. When you make a YouTube video, you try to make them short and sweet. But
Yes.
when I stop the recording, we'll continue talking. But before I stop the recording for YouTube, is there anything you want to conclude with?
Yes. We all, everybody who see Mandela Effect, should talk about how the new Earth is supposed to look like.
Right.
What is out there, because that's how we create. Consciousness is first, material stuff is second. And as far as I understand what I saw, on a new Earth, the form of life, the main form of life is going to be humans. So we don't have to worry being some octopuses or something like that. And it's going to be pretty close to what it is right now. This way we're going to avoid the shock for people, because, you know, it is, the whole thing is kind of, yeah. It's a birth of new game, which gonna be creation mode instead of survival mode.
Right.
And we're also participating in the birth of so many consciousnesses over here.
Right. I agree. Yeah, as I've said many times, the battle begins in your mind, folks. But in reality, it's not even a battle. Reality begins with a thought. For example, the chair you're sitting in, or the car you're driving in, or wherever you are, it didn't just pop into existence. It became a thought, and then from the thought, it became reality. So everything begins with a thought, and I've said numerous times, be mindful of your thoughts. And think about the reality that you truly want, free of all distractions, free of any fear, just total freedom. I call it a blank canvas. You have a blank canvas, and I've actually used his exact words in a previous video. You have this blank canvas and paint what you want reality to be. Right, Lana?
Yes.
Anything else?
Oh, a lot of people seeing distortion, like when you're watching video, how that's called? They calling them reptilians. When you see disturbance in the images.
Well, not a lot of people have seen that, but I know what you mean.
Yes.
Go on. Yeah, but that's kind of a mute point. But
To explain that, there is because our level is like entities from interstices from other dimensions. Some of the entities from other dimensions literally in human bodies right now. So the smartest ones are, some of them are benevolent, some of them are malevolent. So that's what you see. It's also like the good and bad is in not only in this level, it's on all levels of this matrix. So that's what it is.
it's a duality. They create a duality in everything.
Yes.
And then they try to use the excuse that the reason it's a duality is because you could not have one without the other.
That's a bullshit.
I think it's
Oh,
complete
sorry.
BS. No, you can swear. It's okay. It's complete BS. Because, you know, this, you see, out of the darkness, they say the light is created.
No, that's not true.
And this beauty is created out of it. And I say, no, the beauty is already there. You're just seeing it.
It's very simple. Can they exist without us?
No.
Can we exist without them?
Yes.
Simple.
Thank you. That is a beautiful way of saying it. They cannot exist without us. They cannot exist without us.
I would say my concern might be, have they programmed us too well in here that we would take it out and perpetuate?
No, they're planning on that. No, we call it a Trojan virus, cat. No, they already planned on that. That they think they infected us so well that when we leave, that they will come as a Trojan horse in us. And I've explained this to them many times, Kat, for like over 20 years. You can't get outside of this place unless you're a certain vibrational frequency. And once you match that vibrational frequency, then that cannot even be a threat. Does that make sense?
Well, pretty much the way to get out of this matrix, for me, is right now, for everybody. Like, everybody who sees Mandela Effect is already pretty much safe. And everybody else you have to achieve, like, you have to become God. Are you able to create without hurting your creation? Because the alien AI, that's what it does. It's create consciousness, and it's actually killing it. So that's very, very, very unethical. And if you actually high enough to become God, that's the new Earth is the right place for you to be. Or if you're organic consciousness, you can actually live and play other games. So that's.
Any thoughts, Miss Freedom?
I'm not sure really. Yeah,
Pop to take in.
I'm just mesmerized by what she's saying because it's everything that I've been thinking for a long time. I just haven't known how to say it.
Very good.
Like she said earlier, well, how you were talking about, you know, you just can't get the right words to describe what you're saying. Again, it's like when they say a picture says 1,000 words. I quite often struggle to get out what I'm saying. I sort of get like a mental block because I feel like I'm exploding inside. Like I've got all this information I want to tell you, but like the AIs just, I don't know, just putting blocks on to stop that. They sort of slow you down. So it's quite a battle at times. Yeah.
It does happen quite a bit, yeah.
For everybody who is inhibiting humans' bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the main thing, nobody knows who they are, right? And we're all playing this game.
Yeah, we are. Anything else? Any last words?
I think we need to start doing hangouts to creating about creating new Earth, because whatever we put on it right now, even like just by discussing it, because when you put your thoughts in words, that's a different level of creation. So the more we talk about it, I don't see why not. And also inform people about Mandela Effect, because it's extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Something I've seen a lot of recently is people's videos on like stuffed animals or something, all the different animals and the crazy things like rainbow rivers and rainbow mountains, and some of them are just breathtaking. Like I didn't even think they were possible to see, like all those vivid colors, and the unusual colored animals. Like you can get blue bananas and red bananas, and it's just crazy. And I'd love to see that in the new Earth. Just lots of color everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want the bugs there. I'm sorry, but I don't like them.
Bugs that don't bite. I've, well, you all know I'm a QHHT practitioner. I've actually been with clients to the new Earth many times. So, yeah, I should get around and making those available. But it's basically in
Yeah,
a
and
nutshell.
also information from QHHT. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Harmony.
Oh, go ahead.
Also, your information from QHHT session about the new Earth, because the more we talk about it, the more we visualize it, the quicker and better it's become, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what it is it's the Earth before all this happened. It's just the original Earth, and in essence, it was always there. It's just when this invasion took place, this matrix that was set up, that was when the Earth split. And so the original Earth, as we say, paradise, is still there, and it's always been there. All we're going to do is go back to it, and it is beautiful. There's, no eating of animals. You can eat, all the fruit and vegetables you want. There's no killing, no raping, no murder. We live in communities. We don't live in these little boxes. When you have a child, the community raises the child together as a community. So a child has its biological parents and many parents, and we're meant to live in community and in peace and
How long
harmony
do we live?
as long as you want.
As long as
And you can vibrate to a higher Earth too. You don't have to say that one.
So can you
can
modify your body?
yeah, you can vibrate to a frequency where you don't have a body at all.
No, that's not the purpose. I already know how to be without body. That's why I'm in simulation, because I wanted to experience stuff.
Apparently there's many realities you can go to, and that's the way it was meant to be and always should have been. And as you talked about, we got trapped here. You come in here and boom, you're trapped.
Yes, it's the alien AI is big on recycling. It's recycle NPCs
Yeah,
also. It's recycle
yeah,
organic consciousness.
yeah.
It's recycle everything. It's
Yeah,
recycle.
over and over and over and over again. This has become it's the ultimate fly trap. You can't get out. It's like the mafia. You can join us, but you can quit, but you can never leave, or I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to think of something funny, but you get the idea. You come in here and you get trapped. And it's like holy crap! I'm one of the most advanced beings in all of existence.
The
There's no
only
way.
thing.
No way in a million years I thought I could get trapped. You come in here and the first thing you do is strip you of your memories. And then it's like, holy crap, what happened? And you're like so lost in here. It's out of control. And
Exactly.
it's time for that to end. And the Matrix, as you alluded to earlier, it's breaking down and it's done. It's over. And as I said, my purpose is to come here on a rescue mission and pull everybody out. There's other people that do other things, and Cat does, Cat's thing, and you do your thing, and we all work together as I say, a beautiful symphony. And sometimes the violin string section plays, sometimes the horn, sometimes you all play together. We each play our part.
That's true.
And and as I always say, as the sun sets and the sun rises, doesn't matter what your belief is. Simply come to that quiet, peaceful place and pray, meditate, and focus on bringing in pure, true source God, creator, energy, and let it flow everywhere. Just be a pillar of light unto the world and emanate pure, true source God, creator, energy. And spread the love and the harmony. and peace all throughout this reality. And I think next time we get together, we'll talk about what New Earth should be. But for now, I think we're good. And God bless everybody. And next time, peace, good night, and be well.